Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. I want to welcome you to SKTV once again. My name is Sekou Kene. Today is a special edition. We normally don't do show on Wednesday, but now we have a situation going on in Liberia, based on which we decided to have a show today to analyze what is actually going on, what prompted this whole commotion in Liberia involving I-Vah, a former CDC chairman, also former chief of staff for Mr. Alexander B. Cummings. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to share the show, because this is going to be it's going to be probably 1 hour, 30-minute show. I'm not sure if we're going to go more than that, but if need be, we will go more than that. But it's important that you share the show. This is going to be a very, very, very important conversation that you must be a part of. So go ahead and share the show, and we will start the show shortly. All right.
Oh na 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 na. Just let people them. It will make people them.
D12 on the beat.
I know they send you to monitor. Go tell them say you not see me yo. I know they send you to slow me down. Go tell them say you not see me yo. I think you. I pinching you, yeah, yeah. You choose to live, you want to live. I choose to live, I want to live. Oh, yeah. I think you. Oh, yeah. I think you can, you, yeah, yeah. If I'm not making money and not making sense, if I'm not getting bread, I'm not going there, yeah. Get me where, oh, yeah, get me where. I'm moving up, I'm never coming down, yeah. Get me where, get me where. I'm going up, I'm never coming down, yeah. I know they sent you to slow me down. Go tell them say you not see me, yo. I know they sent you to monitor. Go tell them say you not see me, yo. Move on, yeah. If you come to worry me, move on, yeah. If you come to stress me, move on, yeah. If you want to slow me down, move on, yeah. You choose to live, you want to live, oh. So I choose to live, I want to live, oh. Now I keep pinching you, oh yeah. Now I think you can, you, I got the juice, I got the sauce, I got the feelings the people like. I got the juice, got the sauce, got the feelings the people like. Yeah. Move on, yeah. Tell them say you not see me, oh. Move on, yeah. Tell them say you not see me, oh. I know they send you to monitor. Go tell them say you not see me, oh. Move on, yeah. Go tell them say you not see me, oh. Let people them, me and me, make people them from me. Go tell them say you not see me, oh. Nobody better than me and me, make people them from me. Go tell them say you not see me, super lepe mama, super lepe mama, super lepe, super Show me a friend, I will tell you who you are. Watch what you do, it might turn around on you. When you point the finger, don't forget to know 3 other fingers are pointing back at you. Move on, yeah. Go tell them say you not see me, oh.
So, first, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. We want to welcome you once again to SKTV. I believe my colleagues will be joining me later on, but today is a special edition of our show. Today, we are going to be discussing the Isaac Vatokwa's situation in Liberia, um, talking about the book that he wrote involving, there are a lot of things in the book, but the part that captures a lot of attention, and that this is after the book has been written for a little while, but people are now um, digging deeper into the book. So it's important that we come here to have this conversation. We have a lot going on. And one of the reasons that I decided that we have to discuss this today is to highlight the level of hypocrisy and reactionary behavior in the Liberian community. The level of hypocrisy is too much to the extent where that we have to talk about this. Some people will be happy. Some people will be angry. Some people will be disappointed. And some people will respect me for talking about this. This is very, very important. You know, in Liberia, a lot of people, there are a lot of people that don't think for themselves. There are a lot of people that only speak when they hear other people speaking. There are a lot of people, they only read when they see other people reading. And there are some of them that don't read, but they just follow anything other people say. They move with the crowd. Majority of them are just moved by sentiment, but not understanding anything. What actually happened? People are taking one direction, but there are some people like me. I don't see it the way many of those people saying it. First and foremost, we're going to talk about a little bit about the book, and then we speak of the reaction of our people. There are so many people who are in this thing based on moral. There are other people who are in it for mere politics. Nothing but politics. First of all, the book that we are talking about here, the book was written by two different people. I-Vah happened to be one of the person that wrote the book. He's a co-author. But the reason why I-Vah was highlighted was the center of the discussion is because of politics. Many of the people who are talking about it behaving as if the sky is falling, majority of them are a bunch of hypocrites. And they are not in it because they love morality. They are not doing it because they stand for integrity. They are not doing it simply because they respect women or women's rights. They are doing it merely on politics. Just politics, nothing but politics. And the hypocrisy in it There are so many people that are followers. They just follow anything and everything because they want to be noticed. They want people to know that they too can speak out. They too are advocates. They too know how to say nonsense. It's all politics. Majority of you people who are there talking rubbish are talking it because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're doing. First of all, you must ask question, what happened? Let me tell you how this whole thing started. The whole thing started with Henry Costa and I-Vah having a disagreement. The book was written. The book has been read by many people. There was not such a reaction. But because Henry Costa disagreed with I-Vah came and wrote something trying to expose Henry Costa. Then Henry Costa too went to dig deeper in I-Vah's co-author's book to find fault on I-Vah in an attempt to destroy him or to attack him. So Henry Costa went and take an excerpt from that particular book, share it, and talk about it, making it look like I-Vah is the dangerous person. I-Vah does not have moral. I-Vah is against women. I-Vah is insulting women. And so many of you just jump behind it. Oh, the sky is falling. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is so terrible. Then some other people calling themselves women advocates are jumping up here and there. Complete hypocrisy. Many of the people, even some people who call themselves leaders, all of a sudden now are sympathizing with the first lady of Liberia simply because the attachment of I-Vah to Alexander Cummings. It's all politics. There's no moral. There's no decency. There's no honesty attached to it. It's all politics. Simply because Costa said it, the followers of Costa will just follow and talk nonsense. Simply because it's against I-Vah. How many of you have heard the name of the other person, the co-author of the document, of the book? You have never heard about it. You don't even know who is the co-author. Because why? He has no political relevance. But simply because I-Vah is connected with another political party, another political author, who is another political actor who is now pretty much the most, I would call it the only threat to the existence of the Jowia government, and people who are fighting alongside with the government to destroy Alexander Cummings are the same people now joining the government to create noise. This is all about politics. Before I get to the details of what is in that document, before we get to the detail of what is in that document, I just wanted to set the premise to let you know that everything that's going on is all politics. Majority of the people who are talking nonsense, they have no moral. Some of them sleeping with each other. some of the leaders who are now trying to say that they are. Steve, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you're here. So some of the people, so-called leaders, who are now saying that they are, I'm standing with, I don't know, Cloud, what is it? Claire or Cloud Weir. I'm standing with the first lady. They're not standing with no damn first lady. They're all doing it because of politics. They are not because they have moral, not because they have integrity, but most of them are doing it simply because of politics. Okay, let's assume women that get out to say, you know what, they are advocating for women's right. Do you know the best time you should have stand up for women's right when those 3 kids got missing? 3 kids. I don't know about most of you, but where I'm from, the culture that I'm from, women, they take children over everything. They love their child, they love their children. How come we did not see all these women getting out on the street and not leaving the street until they get a clear picture as to what happened to those kids? Let's assume I-Vah Tokpa did the wrong thing, the worst thing in the world. He said the wrong thing in the world in that book. How is that equate to people that was killed, that have been killed by the same people? Oh, let the law take its course. Which law? So the law can only take a course when something is against the president or his wife? Some of you must be ashamed of yourself. I'm not saying it's okay to be immoral. I'm not saying it's okay to speak wrong about other people. But some of you, let me tell you this. If you have your senses correct, if your thinking faculty is in tight and okay, the first thing you should be questioning before even we speak of I-Vah Tokpa about some of the things he said in the book, or they said in the book about the president's wife, you must first of all ask yourself, where did that statement come from? If they were quoting the president, that the president said X, Y, and Z about his wife in bed, discussing the sexual life of himself and his wife, before you even talk about, I-Vah Tokpa said this about the woman, and he said this, why don't you ask yourself that what kind of man, what responsible man with honor, man with integrity, man with moral latitude, that will go and sit with other people regardless of the situation, even if it's your girlfriend, who discusses their bedroom affairs with other people. People got to know about this simply because it was taught. Somebody said it. And the person who is accused of saying it is the president himself. So before you can even point to I-Vah Tokpa being rude, being disrespectful to women, being doing this, being doing that, who is the first person to talk about this? The first thing I would have watched, just as they did today, when the information came out to say, you know what? I-Vah Tokpa being arrested. I-Vah Tokpa being kidnapped. When that information came up, guess what the government did? They came out swiftly to deny, because they know the repercussion, the ripple effect of that behavior. So what they did, they came out to clear the air quickly. Oh no, we didn't arrest the man. Oh no, the man was going out of the country, not through the proper means, illegal means. But we brought the man back to Liberia and to Monrovia, and the man's been turned over to his lawyer. Okay, fair enough. So when I-Vah Tokpa and his friend wrote the book, and the government saw the book, the president saw the book, the first thing he could have done is to come out clearly to deny that he said those things about his wife, that he ever discussed those kind of things with anybody for that matter. Deny first the action. The people are not saying that we saw the president doing this and that. We saw the wife doing. They say the president said. They are accusing the president. So most of you should have been outraged, the women, to say, you know what? What kind of human being can talk such a thing about your wife? No matter what the circumstances are. Who can discuss such a thing about your wife? That should have been the outreach from many of you. To say, I am outraged for the fact that the president of Liberia, or even when he was not president, for George Mane Weah, a human being with 5 senses, will have the audacity to go sit down with somebody. It doesn't matter who the person is. To go and sit down and discuss your wife? Before I-Vah Tokpa or whoever put it in the book, where did they get it from? Who did they hear it from? You should be outraged about that. You should be outraged, but you know what? Before I even start to attack this guy for 13 days, but he's saying that they hear it from the president. You must be outraged. Your outrage, you go against the president first for disgracing women, for talking low to Liberian women, for praising other women over Liberian women, for even discussing something that happened in his bedroom with somebody else. God forbid. Let me tell you something. Even your girlfriend, not even your wife, your girlfriend, no matter how you fight with her, no matter how the problem between you guys, a good man with moral, a good man with integrity will never discuss what happened in the bedroom about his wife or girlfriend. So you should be outraged about that in the first place. Oh, I-Vah Tokpa is there, I-Vah Tokpa is that. What about the man who opened himself to the people? So all these people who you saw on the street, parading the street, pretending as if they love the president's wife, as if they are there to advocate for women's rights, as if they care about integrity. They are all politicians. It's all politic. They're all pretenders. Their mission is not to fight for women's right, or human right, or decency, or moral. Their fight is about politics. Plain and simple. But then, one of the most disappointing part of this, when this thing came up, other people, instead of sitting back, analyze the situation, or take their time to reflect on the situation, the first thing they did, even people within the ANC cycle, they were the first. Oh, they may do this, let me resign. They may do this. Some of you are a bunch of reactionaries. You have to wait and analyze things. Look at the source. This thing was just a mere fight between Costa and I-Vah Tokpa. Costa went into I-Vah Tokpa's co-author book and fight I-Vah Tokpa with it. All of you jump as if to say the sky is falling. George Weah is president. Let's assume that I-Vah Tokpa said all these things. So what? George Weah is the president of the Republic of Liberia. Do you know how many times President Donald Trump's wife naked picture was flying all over the place because she was former supermodel. Her naked picture was flying all over the place in newspapers, on social media, by different people every day. Do you know how many times or how many things that were said about Michelle Obama, to the extent where of some people even calling her that she's not even a female? Posted her picture in different structure. Obama didn't care. Obama didn't care to know who's even right, whatever. That's a complete nonsense. Nobody should be saying anything stupid to anybody, to women. But once somebody open their mouth to discuss yourself, to discuss your wife, to other people, in Liberia, we always say that if your horse does not sell you, the street will not buy you. If the president didn't talk about his wife to those people, nobody will care to know whether she's good in bed, she's not good. Who cares? Who cares? So, but then many of you, instead of sitting back and reflect as to how this thing started, what happened, for you to even ask yourself, but wait now, I understand that I-Vah Topa are not supposed to say this. I understand that I-Vah Topa are not supposed to do this. But how did he know about all these things? But the president said, what must you talk about your wife in such a manner? Because the president is yet to even deny. He denied. He is yet to deny as to whether or not he said it. So people who are now saying that they are standing with Claudia, the president's wife, the first lady of Liberia, are they standing with her against the president or against I-Vah Topa? Bunch of hypocrites. If we say it's bad, let's talk about it, how it's bad. Let's talk about how it's bad. Where it started. Who started it? Who started it? Then, for political reason, many of the people around Commies, or even some of the fake advocates, went ahead, oh, you know what? You gotta fire the man. Oh, the man, yeah. You want to act like like the Democrat in America. They are very quick to go against one of their own. Even on mere allegations, even on lies, they will go against their own. Democrats, they do that all the time here in America. But with the Republican, they will always stand with their own. They will always ask. They will always ask to investigate. They will always think. They will always take time to find out as to what really happened before some of them, the good ones, before they can come out to even condemn. But some of you just jump up and start castigating the man. Start talking nonsense about the man. Simply because of fear of losing what? For the fear of losing what? And let me tell you this, the ANC folks and Lieutenant Commies, if you're listening, by firing I-Vah Topa is not going to add anything to you politically. People who are against you, they're not going to join you because, oh, nah, they made the moral thing. They made the right thing. Now the man fire I-Vah Topa. Now the man is the leader. Let me go join him. They're not going to do that. It is all noise. It is all distraction. It is all meant to make you look bad. Who is talking about those kids now? Who is talking about the 3 children that got missing? Who is talking about it? Who is talking about the auditors? Who is talking about it? Who is talking about it? Who is talking about Matthew Innes and Adolph Lawrence? Who is mentioning them today? They don't care. It's just a bunch of noise maker. They will come and take advantage of situation to talk nonsense. But deep down, they have no moral attitude. They have nothing in them. Bunch of noise maker, politically driven, stupid people. They will come and store anything just to put fear in you. As if when you do it, they will change anything. Or they will support you because of that. I-Vah is a human being. Everybody can make mistake. Assuming that he did this is a mistake. But if you fight the person that put it on and forgot about the source of the information, then something happened to you. Something is not right with you. So all those hypocrites who are putting picture up, saying I stand with this person, how can you not stand with a lady against her husband? Who talked the nonsense? So in short, when the Liberian government said the man is not arrested, the man was, making to the border because he came to the border and it was late. It was around 11 o'clock, and the border closed. I didn't even know there was a curfew at the border. I didn't know there was a curfew at the border. That simply because the man went there late, you stopped the man. But you didn't stop the man to say, you know what? For your safety, we don't want you to cross this night. Stay here at the border there. Right after the normal time, when they break, will allow you to go wherever you want to go. Then we'll know you are keeping the man for safety. But with no arrest warrant, with no charges against this man, and you stop the man from crossing the border, and you're going to keep the man there from last night to this morning, you free the man to go, then we'll know that the government is being honest. We'll know that the government is telling the truth. Oh no, the man wanted to cross the border. It was late. It was 11:30 and the border closed at 6 o'clock. But then keep the man somewhere at the border. When they pray in the morning, you let the man go. You think people are stupid? You will come and write nonsense here coming from the Minister of Information, thinking that you are talking to stupid people. They are just afraid of the backlash. Because they always boast that this government have no political prisoner. And now that they are witch hunting somebody for writing a book, if somebody could be arrested, if somebody could be witch hunted for speaking ills about somebody or discussing somebody's sexual life, Molba Molu, the chairman of the CDC party, said that this president, and that was not book though. He didn't say the president told me. He said he know that this president, all the women then that they get job to in the government, that the president sleep with all of them. The president can sleep with all of them before they get a job. Mosba Molu said that. Where were those stupid people who say they are women advocates? Why can they were not outreach about that? Imagine looking at all the women that work in the government. Somebody say the president slept with all of them. The president can sleep with all of them before you get a job. Molba Molu said that. Where was the outreach? Some of you really need to check yourself. I'm not saying it's right to do the wrong thing, but when we are to fight the wrongdoing, we should fight it all the way. We shouldn't blind ourselves to one and open our eyes to one, into the other. It's called hypocrisy. We said that time it was wrong for Molba Molu to have done that. But how many of you that got on the street? How many of you that change your picture to Jawia picture say, oh, Jawia is under attack by Molba Molu? Oh, I stand with George Weah. How many of you did that? So when something happened, you will just jump up like a bunch of beheaded chickens, just going all over the place with no sense of direction, simply because you want to be noted. You want notice. You want somebody to know that you're doing that, you're doing that. First of all, Costa fighting I-Vah Topa. They are big boys. I-Vah Topa went and tried to expose Costa on certain things. Now, Costa now to fight back, he went and looked in I-Vah Topa book. And also, people, one of you who are fighting, especially those people who are calling yourself opposition, this thing is political. And you know very well Costa is fighting for the government now. Before it was different, but now he's fighting for the government. Since when Costa becomes a moral lecturer? Since when? Somebody who every day mentioning the wife of the president, talking nonsense about her, mentioning the wife of Manisha McGill, talking nonsense about her, mentioning all the government officials, talking about the purse they carry, the shoe they wear, demeaning them, disrespecting them on a daily basis. Where in the world that person will come in and talk about, oh, how about talk about a daddy? And not talk this thing about president's wife. Since when? Some of you need to check yourself on a serious note. You want to jump politics, you don't even know politics. People try to play with you on a daily basis and you fall for it. When I saw the press release from ANC or from Lena Commis, I asked and I received the resignation of I-Vah Topa. I just laugh. I said, Mr. Cummins has fallen for it again. Because some of you guys around Cummins pretend to be political Maradonas when you have no sense of direction, you know nothing about politics. People play with you every day. You say you know Liberian politics, but you don't even know it. People can play politics, you just fall for it, destroying yourself on a daily basis. What is the political significance? What are you going to get out of this now by firing as I-Vah Topa? You know what's going to happen? You're even going to lose people. I-Vah Topa and everybody that follow him or that like him or that will somehow sympathize with him, they will feel like, you know what, these people are not serious people. How can you throw them under the bus without even taking time to investigate the process? Even in America here, when Samantha Power was accused, in fact, what she did, she openly doing in the heat of the campaign, during the primary, because the Democratic Party didn't want to be divided going into the general election. When Samantha Power referred to Hillary Clinton as a monster, people asked Obama to fire her. Guess what they did? They take their time, they investigate, and they look at the pros and cons. They look at what they will be losing and what they will be getting. Because they were all Democrat, and they want all the other people then that are supporting Hillary Clinton after the primary, they say, well, you know what, Samantha? Go ahead and send in your resignation. And right after, before then, she was a national security advisor to Obama. And right after the election, guess what? She was appointed as the United States ambassador to UN. You look at the merit and the demerit and the political, what are you going to give gain from it or what you're going to lose. Because this thing is not based on moral. If this was all moral driven argument, I will agree with anybody. But it's all politic. To tell you it's all politic, how many of you have heard the name of the co-author? Because he's not relevant politically. But because I-Vah Tokpa being associated with commies, now I-Vah Tokpa now is the most relevant person in Liberia. How can some of you don't understand that? And you pretend to know it all. Steve, I have a lot to say. But I think it was important that we talk about this. I am not disappointed. I am not surprised. But I feel like when these things happen, some of us, we bear moral responsibility. It is incumbent upon us to come and educate some of these people that have no sense of direction. Some of these reactionaries. Some of these people who are so much situational. When things happen, they want to be saying. They want to be the one, oh, I said this. I think it was premature for Comey to have let this guy go based on mere propaganda. Jawia is the president of Liberia. What happened to the freedom of speech? Let me, before I close, Steve, the president is very, 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 very smart. The communication they put out today, the president said, according to the communication from the Ministry of Information, that I-Vah Tokpa is free to go anywhere and everywhere, including outside of the country. If there will be any, should there be any due process, it could be that can be carried out anywhere. If he has something against I-Vah Tokpa, he doesn't have to be in Liberia. He can be anywhere. He can sue the person from anywhere. As a matter of fact, let's assume that I-Vah Tokpa is wrong. That I-Vah Tokpa lied on the president. That I-Vah Tokpa lied on his wife. He and his co-author, let's say they lie on the president's wife. That is a civil case. There's nothing criminal about that. You can even sue the man, but the man can still travel and say his lawyer. How come some of you don't know that? A civil case, the man can move about, go anywhere. He can be represented by his lawyer. But because the level of ruthlessness in that country, the level of insecurity in that country, when you're accused of something, whether criminal or not criminal, criminal or safer, people attempt to leave the country because they're afraid. Because the miscarriage of justice is always the order of the day in Liberia. The miscarriage of justice is the order of the day in Liberia. So people got afraid. Especially when you're accused of doing bad thing to the president's wife. I got all right to be scared. People that can kill other people to destroy evidence. People that can witch hunt you because they disagree with you politically. What if you are now saying, as we call it in Liberia, government boom? That any government will feel anybody. As a matter of fact, some of you who were talking nonsense without investigating, do you know you were endangering this man's life? Let's assume he talked all the nonsense about the president and his wife. Does he deserve to die because of that? Absolutely not. You can sue the man for defamation. That's all you can do, nothing more. If you think the man lied, you can sue him. But under the law, if the president can be sued, can the president sue somebody? Some of you who are here talking nonsense, the president's wife? Does she care about the children in Liberia? Does she care about the women in Liberia? You guys should know better. But I'm happy that even though it seems to be pretentious, I believe the president knows better. They will not arrest I-Vah for this. They will allow the due process to be followed, if at all they will pursue it. If I was the president, if I were in the president's position, trust me, I would treat this as a non-issue. Because it's a non-issue. Somebody who raising the concern, like Costa right now, oh, the man is dead, the man not talking nonsense about that man he saw the president on a daily basis. He saw the president's wife on a daily basis. Talk trash about them. And not only the president, but even the government, all the government officials and their wives. On a daily basis. Oh, now Costa is moral. Costa is the one now, the lecturer, the moral, lecturer in Liberia. So the government, the president and the government people now, yeah, they believe in Costa now. Shame on you guys. Some of you have no sense of direction. This thing is politic. It has nothing to do with moral. Steve, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kane. As always, I want to reference the Liberian people. I believe they're the most important people on earth. But most importantly, as always, I want to reference the Liberian women. I still believe in a midst of this chaos, this noise and confusion, I still believe they're the most beautiful women on earth. Mr. Kane, I don't discuss people's personal life. I've always said it. I don't go into people's personal business, whether it's in the public or not. So I will try to take a different angle on this conversation. And the angle I want to take firstly is I want to apologize to the Liberian women. And also Madame Claudia being a woman, whether she's from Liberia or not, for the public humiliation, disgrace of women in the name of politics. And I agree with you that this is all politics, that people will go to the extent of even putting innocent women and children on the bus, either to denigrate other people, go after them, or create disgrace. These are not things that go away. These kind of conversations, when you have them, they're not things that go away. I'm not sure to what extent or to what level the trauma that Liberian women and maybe the First Lady may be experiencing. These are not things that go away, Mr. Kane. They go a long way. They go a long way. The same way how when a woman comes up on Facebook or a man comes up on Facebook and shares a naked video of another woman, or a man shares it to a woman and another woman shares it. These are traumatic events, Mr. Kane. I'll be very honest with you. And I'm very disturbed. To be honest, I'm very, very disturbed. I'm trying my possible best to wrap my head around this whole thing. The cause, the origin. I've always thought one thing when it comes to I-Vah. I never agree with him from day one. I never even agreed, me personally, but it's my personal opinion, I stated here, for Mr. Cummings to have hired him as in the role that he was in, regardless of his education, whatever it is. I believe from day one he's been a liability. I believe so. And I believe up until today he's still been a liability. Politics aside, to Mr. Cummings, I believe so. And so at that, for me, that was a little troubling. But I also want to believe that Mr. Cummings did the right thing. I believe Mr. Cummings did the right thing. I believe that was leadership. I believe he set himself apart on this particular issue. He was timely and he took the right decision. That's what I believe. You know, Mr. Cannon, these things are disgraceful. These things are troubling. Very, 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 very troubling. To be honest, they're very troubling. And I will go towards the men today on this issue. Now I have to agree with you though. The fact that the stage was even set for this kind of conversation. Let me say this to all the men. Talking about women don't make you a big boy. It don't make you a big boy. I'll be very honest with you. It don't make you a big boy. You have mothers, you have sisters. Even if your mother is not alive, you have women that are connected with you. Some of you have children who are women. We need to desist from it. It's not a locker room talk like Donald Trump would say. That's purely being disrespectful. And even some of the people, like you were saying, Mr. Kanye, I've heard it. I don't know about other men, but I've hung out with Liberian men. And I'll say here, I've hung out with Liberian men. You're one of the few persons, I'm not sure if it's from a training or from a religious perspective or from your personal worldview. You are one of the few men and other people, Liberian men, that I've never really heard that kind of conversation from since I've known you. But most Liberian men would think that it's a good thing to talk about women that they've been with or women that they're with. It speaks volume. It speaks volume, especially when you go into a graphic form and you talk about your sexual life to other people. You expect it to be a secret. So then why is it that when you and that person decide to engage into sexual activity, why you can't just invite your friends so that they can come and watch your... It's dishonoring, Mr. Kanye. It is dishonoring at all levels. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. It's dishonoring. It's disgusting. And I think all women should stand up against it. It's not a joking thing. Some of you women, you laugh with it. You have enhanced this. You ignore it. You play deaf ear to it. You pass by it. But this should serve as a lesson that is not love for you. When a man passes around and talks about you in your sexual life or so forth, or your body parts to other people, or they write about it jokingly, and you think that they're praising you. Some men even go to the extent in public. They're not people that are involved with you. They start hitting your butt in public. And you laugh with it, you joke with it, you ignore. You think it's a natural thing. On their side, we term it as sexual harassment. Some of you women, you sit there, you tolerate that nonsense. These Liberian men will hold you any kind of way, talk to you any kind of way, put their hands on you any kind of way, and you ignore it how it starts. You think, it was sexy what he said. It's sexy what he said. But there's nothing about it how it starts. And this is a continual behavior of President George Weah. It shows irresponsibility. I'll start with him. I said it the other time. The president is irresponsible. Whether he said this conversation before he was president, after he was president, why he was president, it is irresponsible and reckless. He must be held liable and responsible as well. It is irresponsible. It is as irresponsible as I-Vah talked about writing it to as well. And the other young man who wrote this book is irresponsible. This is not part of our culture. This is not who we are, Mr. Kanye. That's not what we do.
Steve, let me ask you. You'll continue. Let me ask you this: the behavior of talking about women in the manner that we are discussed that it was said in the book. Before we can focus on I-Vah and his co-author, I think the focus should be on two people. Here's why. The president, who is alleged to have said all those things that is in that book. He first. he brought everything
Yes.
that people would say about a woman. Even
Yes.
if people, the discussion being held today is shameful that his work being discussed in this manner. And this is, in fact, the discussion about this issue on a daily basis is a promotion for the book. A lot of people want to know what is actually in that book. That book, a lot of people will buy it. A lot of people are already buying it. But again, you are outraged. You feel it's shameful. You feel this is disturbing. This is very embarrassing. But you are not only outraged by what is being done by the president in I-Vah today. You have always been consistent and been outraged by any act of this nature, right?
Most definitely so.
Then when you speak, I will listen. But people, many of the people who are speaking, they are not speaking based on morality here. That's what I want you to understand. It's all politic. And those who are taking advantage of the situation to advance their political argument are the people that we are talking about here. Those women, how many of them you saw fighting when those children were raped, including Oda Shaman?
And I'll get to that part, Mr. Kennedy.
How many? Yeah. So this thing, I-Vah Tokpa, whatever the case is relating a story that they heard from who? Where's the source? You can speak on morality. You know what? Not every story you can hear, you can write about it. But where it came from? Who narrated the story? So my point here, Steve, I understand your position, which I respect, but I will not just criticize I-Vah Tokpa or talk anything down to I-Vah Tokpa and forgetting about the source. And also the hypocritical nature of those people now who are making it as if the sky is going to fall on down when they have paid blind eyes to similar, even the worst thing in the country, but now they are behaving as if to say the sky is falling simply because this is coming from somebody that is attached with the opposition, specifically Elizabeth Gomez. The hypocritical aspect of it, that takes away any moral argument that they will come and make. Because if you're standing for morality today, you must have stand for it yesterday. But you cannot cherry pick.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Kennedy. And I was going to get to that point that you're making in order to create a balance so that this conversation from my end is not skewed on one side. You know, and this is a delicate situation. Again, I don't like to go in this kind of conversations, but we must address it from an informed perspective. You know, and yes, I agree with you that people are making this political at the expense of, you know, using women. And let me just be honest with you, the politicians in Liberia, they've always used our mothers and our sisters in the wrong way for the wrong reasons. And some of our mothers and our sisters have allowed themselves to be used. This is an opportunity for a wake-up call for them to unite on just one cause. I've always said this in open air. Liberian women are the only women, most of them that I know that honor man women's agenda. And I'm men can honor man women's agenda in Liberia or among Liberian women. That Liberian women themselves can honor man their own agenda. I am yet to see Liberian women pushing women's agenda. Guess what? I am seeing Liberian women pushing every other agenda apart from Liberian women's agenda. It's a problem by itself, Mr. Kane. I will never buy that book. I will never read that book. The fact that you are even sharing that book, the fact that you are even passing it around to go and buy it, and yet criticizing it, you are enabling and endorsing it. Do you know that the book price has gone up from $20 to $28 in the period of 28 to 72 hours, 48 to 72 hours? Do you know that? because of the high quality of demand. So that means, in other words, people are claiming that it is not right. But guess what? They are supporting the act to make it not right.
Maybe they want to get some facts. They want to know what is in it.
Well, if you want to know what is in it, if you're so interested to know what is in it, then go and get what is in it before you speak about what is in it. Then you will be speaking from an
exactly. But I believe, I'm just saying, the reason why the price is going up because a lot of people want to know exactly what is in the book. Because, like I said earlier, everything that people do right now, that is a promotion for the book.
So, Mr. Kane, to be able to nail my point out here, to I-Vah Topa, let me tell you something. You've always said this to me, Mr. Kane, and I believe that I've come to believe it. There is no formal enemy.
Yep.
You, I-Vah Topa, Costa have said he's the one that promoted you, even with you being highly educated to some extent, more experienced to some extent, and even level-headed to some extent. Costa has said he's promoted you. And you know what? Yes, I agree with Costa that he promoted you. Because you know what? These are the kind of company you want to have. These are the kind of people you want to suck up to gain relevance. You think you got to gain relevance. No sense, because this is the same. What Costa did, it seemed like a joke, and he passed it around on Facebook and laughing and making jokes of it. And I'm seeing a bunch of Costa and other irresponsible men and women on there, making it look like it's a joking thing. He put this man's life in harm's way. If the American government, other people had not intervened, these guys would have harmed this man. This government is reckless. They're irresponsible. These guys are very reactive. They will create damage and danger to you. This man has children. He has a family. Yes, I condemn the book. Yes, I condemn what's in the book towards women. But it doesn't warrant someone's life. It doesn't warrant someone to be, it does not warrant at all, Mr. Kane, to be harmed. There is no sense in stopping a grown man to say that, oh, the border closed. Okay, if the border closed one daybreak in the morning, let the man go.
Yeah.
Why you got to put escort behind the man? Why you got to do all the other shenanigans? You put this man in harm's way, but it should be a lesson learned to some of you who think, listen, Mr. Kane, there is in no way, shape, or form, I will suck up to any human being because I want to gain some kind of relevance. There is in no way, shape, or form. There is in no way, shape, or form. I know my value. I know myself. So I'm saying this to I-Vah Topa, it should be a lesson. But guess what? Tomorrow they will come back and sit around and say, that was just mere politics. That's not mere politics. That is not politics. When you ruin someone's reputation, you put someone's name, you drag them in the mud for no reason in the name of politics, you put them in harm's way. Part of the reason you see Yega and other people are furious is because of some of these things. You put people's life at risk. You can't get life back. And that's something you can go buy in the store. Today, Matthew Ines, like you were saying, and other people die because they wanted to stand up for what was right.
Yeah.
Today, we have no answer to these things. Everything is just shadow. People are afraid to talk. When his term came, people stood up for him here. You get people like Kef Hassan, who can barely pronounce well and Nathaniel Madio them, talking bunch of foolishness and risking people's life. That there is no tomorrow. But when you tell them that when you do these things, people keep these things in history, and people might want to take another step and say, oh, you beating war drum. But you don't put people's life in harm's way. You don't. And I'll say this. Mr. Khan, I think you are not muted. I'll say this. I'll say this to the Liberian women. Let me say this to you. I don't care if you choose in a situation to devalue yourself. I know there are some good Liberian women out there that got respect for themselves, that know themselves. Not only saying it that they know themselves, but they stand up for what they know. And I want to openly challenge the Liberian women openly today. President George Weah, first of all, discredited you even before the book will come on. There are lots of beautiful Liberian women. He left all the beautiful Liberian women and married a Jamaican woman. That's his choice of preference. I know I will never, ever settle with another nationality. or be with another nationality, start Liberian woman. Never. I'm saying it today. It can never happen in my entire life. I believe I owe the Liberian woman everything in my life. For President, we had to do that. Alone, that was a discredit. You think a Liberian woman couldn't be first lady? Do you think so? You think Liberian women don't deserve to be first lady too? Or you sit down, you play blank out to that one. Fine, that's a side point. Here is my point to you, Liberian women. When President George Weah condemned you through I-Vah and the other person in this book, that was a disrespect to you. When President George Weah refused to come and take the petition from the girls, when your children were raped, when your sister were hurt, that was a disrespect to you. That was a disrespect to you. That is not politics. That is not politics. You stop selling yourself cheap. It's okay to love somebody. It's okay to respect somebody. But it is not okay for somebody to make fool out of you over and over and over and over and over again. No, that is not, your loyalty cannot continue to lie in that person. Your loyalty cannot continue to lie in that person. President George Weah has shown the utmost disrespect to you. You're giving title feminist in chief. He has never pushed your agenda. Piso Sedita, who I'm being told, she's a Liberian by birth, mother and father, has never spoken openly on Liberian issue. Today, they're making press conference. The vice president, Joel Howard Taylor, and other people are there. They don't speak on Liberian issue, on Liberian women issue. They don't. They get quiet about it when your children are killed. Guess what? Today, everybody's in solidarity with the First Lady. There is nothing wrong to be in solidarity. But we are watching to see how Liberian women will be in solidarity when one of their daughters is raped or is harmed. We want to see the level of solidarity that you will bring to the table. When one Liberian woman is disrespected, we want to see the level of solidarity that you will project, that you will not ignore and say it's happening all around the world. Guess what? People are writing books all around the world. Today, we don't hear that it's happening all around the world. We don't hear that it's happening in America. No comparison. The focus is solely on the First Lady. The focus and the attention has even been taken away from some of you, the Liberian women, that were disrespected in that book by saying George Weah would prefer this other person because of this other reason, or total disrespect. But let me say this to President George Weah, I-Vah, Topa, and his boss, and all of you. I don't think you have been with Liberian women. I don't think so. Or a Liberian woman. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because Liberian women are good women. I will say it here. Don't get me wrong. There's no perfect human being, but Liberian women are good women. All the noise George Weah they're making, all the noise I-Vah Topa they're making, and the Liberian women had to sell when George Weah was making campaign. And he said his mother was a market woman. And he said that. And that his mother sold her sweat, her heart and sweat to make sure that he go to school, for a talent to even be recognized. And a Liberian woman did that. Also today, Liberian women are good enough. Today, Liberian women are good enough. Liberian women are good. Don't get me wrong. They might have the drama. They might have the small noise. We can work with them. But to disrespect our women and our mothers, our sisters, is unacceptable. Our nieces, it's unacceptable at all levels. At all levels.
And Steve, that was the area that I wanted to ask you for you to talk about. That is the content of the part that they mentioned the president's wife. I think Liberian women should be outraged and feel offended by some of the things that were allegedly said by the president. And until the president can openly refute or denounce or disassociate himself with those comments, the outreach should be directed at him, first and foremost, and then I-Vah Tokpa and his co-host after. Because, like we always say in Liberia, if your horse don't sell you, the street will not buy you. Everything that has been discussed, nobody knows what is going on in your house, in your bedroom. You must invite the people into that conversation before they can talk about it. Some people, based on their upbringing and the morality they stand for, even if we talk about certain things to them, they will never mention it anyway. But some people, they will not think that way. But when you come and tell me something, and if I don't have the second thought to say, you know what, even though this person told me this, but I'm too good to talk about this kind of thing. If I don't do that, and I went ahead and talk about it, before anybody can blame me, blame the person that told me. So the president should show that responsibility, Steve. And those who are outraged, as if I-Vah should be equally outraged at the president. That's my point.
But Mr. Kane, there is evidence and pattern here of this president either talking loosely, being irresponsible. So let me say this. Let me say this to all of you. Let me say this to some of you women who are on here and some of you who are still fanatics, even when you are being dragged, disgraced, humiliated. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. It doesn't matter to me if you think your allegiance is to President George Weah. My allegiance is not to no human being. It doesn't matter to me. If President George Weah misbehaves, I will say he misbehaved. Nothing wrong with that. No insult. Being irresponsible and reckless is not an insult. It's a fact. When you demonstrate a certain behavior, it must be attached to that. So the thing here, Mr. Kane, the thing here, when Moluba Molu said that, and when Moluba Molu said the president sleeps with Liberian women before he gives them job, president never came one day and debunked it. Guess what? They said our Lagos talk, the brushing off, right? Okay, fine. Yeah. There's another pattern again of the president. Moluba Molu never just got that information from in his car. He was never called to be asked how he got the information or whatever it is. As a matter of fact, his own audio recording for life. People have saved it. This book, as a Vatoba, when you look, before people, let's look at the essence of writing a book. If I quote Mr. Kane in that book, or I publish it, at the end of that book, or at some point in that book, I will have to thank people who provided my sources or so forth. People need to look at it. People who decided to buy it, they need to go look at that. Who are in that book that they think that contributed to this conversation or so forth. Number two, on this issue, Mr. Kane, the reason I say there's a pattern here, the first thing occurred, the president said nothing. The second thing occurred, the president saying nothing. Mr. Kane, we don't need to pass around and say, oh, and we need to verify from the president before we know. Yes, he said it.
Yeah, I believe it too.
He said it. Listen, Mr. Kane, the president said it. I'm saying it here today. He said it.
And so that's why I believe, I agree with you. That's why I believe the attack should not just be limited or go only to I-Vah Tokpa and his
people. Oh, yes.
The attack and the outreach should be directed at the president for disrespecting Liberian women.
And yes.
And women as a whole.
And his wife.
Yeah.
And his wife.
We're going to say women as a whole.
If Clyde, we have my mother or my sister or my auntie, I will tell her to go and put that slap in your ear for talking nonsense. I'm saying it. I will tell it because I'm her husband. I will say, put that slap in your ear because you don't do that. You need to stop this nonsense. He is the president. If they want to arrest her, they let her arrest her and carry her. That his wife, Mr. Kane, this woman, the song that George Weah is proud of today, that the woman gave that man that song. How can you sit around and talk about it? Look, I don't want to go into this part of the conversation, Mr. Kane, but this is unacceptable at all levels. Let's not even joke about it. It's unacceptable. And the people who are passing around and pushing it, guess what happened? The people who are passing around and pushing it, guess what happened, Mr. Kane? They are enabling and abetting this issue. This man disgraced his wife. Nobody's talking about it. Talk less about the Liberian people. This man disgraced his wife. Disgraced the woman that struggled with him, if you want to put it that way. I don't think there was a struggle here because he had money. They were enjoying. But that was his choice. He chose to, fine. If you left the Liberian with me, I'm saying to the president, if you want to talk your nonsense, don't talk to our mother and our sisters like that. Keep that nonsense somewhere else. And all your friends, they can pass around and do whatever they want to do. That the business, I don't care. But don't put our mothers and ours, don't denigrate our women like that. Don't do that. You want to make your comparison? Make them with other women you've been with. That's fine. Leave our Liberian women out of your nonsense conversation. You and your boys. You're going to have different, because you're immature, you choose to have this kind of conversation, you're going to have it there. That's fine. This is unacceptable, Mr. Kane, at all levels. I'm not here to support that. I'm not here to support it. I am not here to support it in any way, shape, or form. The I-Vah, the George Weah, all of them are equally held liable for this nonsense. We will not be here today if these grown men who are fathers and grandfathers were not sitting and acting like little boys, coming in public and acting like teenagers, coming in public and acting like the toddlers, or they just graduated, they stay in high school. You are the president of the Republic of Liberia. This kind of thing, first of all, make a press statement, debunk this allegation. It's been how many days now since we've been on this? How many days?
Why is it that they debunked the information that I-Vah was arrested? Even I was on the phone right now. You know, I just took a call, right? It was the same thing. Somebody trying to tell me whether or not we are aware that I-Vah was not arrested. So they are worried about that more because
people intervened and told them to not go that way.
The backlash.
Yes.
Because they know how it will. As a matter of fact, the person just told me that when they were bringing the man said he wanted to be taken to the American embassy. And then they say, well, they can take him there, but before they take him there, let it take him to immigration. I say, well, for what? Or take him to the immigration and then call his lawyer to go get him. His lawyer, who Aloysius told, and then Aloysius took him to American embassy. Does that add up to you?
But Mr. Kane, first of all,
so that is the story. So it means that there was an intervention. There was an intervention into the whole process. But the way I-Vah was arrested last night or yesterday evening, if there were no other alarm or other intervention or attention being drawn to it, this guy could have been harmed.
Oh, yes.
And this guy will have been in custody up to the time we speak. And let me tell you this, Steve. You've been speaking today, and everything you've been talking about, I can see it in your face, and we're talking about this in the back, how outrageous this behavior is. But there are very few people who are addressing this thing, who are approaching these things based on morality, from a moral standpoint. Majority of the people are in it for politics. And that's the point that really I can't stand. They're not in it simply because they love women or they want to respect women. They are not in it because they are hurt because they are women. No. Some of the people who say, yeah, I'm a woman, I'm hurt. There might be few people, but majority of the people who are trying to amplify this thing, they are doing it because of politics, because of I-Vah Topa Association. And look at where the whole thing started. They both been around, but they were not outraged about it. The president didn't care, and I believe the president still don't care. But people are playing politics with this whole thing, and that's the point that I'm speaking on. And I believe.
You know how I know that this is truly politics from what you're saying.
Yeah.
Let me make two statements here. One of the things you've always told me, the reason you are yet to even throw your full support behind the one economic crimes code is because people are using it as a political stem. But let me tell you how I know this particular case. Instead of it being a national discussion to benefit our women, our mother, people are fighting hard to connect Cummins to say Cummins knew about it. What does that matter at this point? Cummins knew about the book. Cummins knew about the book. I'm seeing grown men, people that pass away there. Instead of them speaking about serious thing.
Man, stop calling some people in here, man.
No, it's sickening. It's sickening.
Yeah, but don't put it another important to call it. Important, and then they make the important. They're gonna say, well,
it's very sickening.
My name was called.
So we're talking about the other person knew about it. The other person knew about it. Where's the focus? Where is the focus here?
I'm telling so that means it's not about morality. That's what I told you. It's all about politics. Okay, let me just say. Okay,
why can we make this about
okay. Let me just. Okay, some of the same people that name you call, right? I've heard them. I've heard them cursing another woman.
Yeah,
describing their honor part on Facebook. So somebody like that, do you think somebody like that has a moral ground to stand on? To talk about moral, to talk about respect for women? You see it? Somebody like that, I've heard them speaking or insulting women. And let me tell you something. Some of the same people who are acting as if they say the sky was falling, that they are against women being disrespected. Some of the people that are doing that are same people that watches other shows or other people insulting women private part on a daily basis. They're clapping, they're happy about it, but yet we come and say, I want to talk about my shame. You see the point? So from the point of politics in Liberia, when these things happen, you don't have to rush to judgment. You don't have to rush to make. I understand you said that you support Cummins and Tony for what they did about I-Vah Topa. Yes, that's your opinion and I respect it. For me, I wouldn't have rushed into firing him right away. I would have settled down, see what's going on, see the reasons behind all these things, how the whole thing started, the weather. Because if you look at it, those who are doing it, people who are carrying the noise around, they are not doing it based on moral. And I believe whatever led to Cummins making this decision to fire I-Vah Topa is based on morality. So you know what? For the sake of integrity and morality of my team, we don't want to be associated with anything of this nature. If that was the fight for everybody, then it's understandable. But people are not doing it based on moral because they themselves, they are morally bankrupt. They got no moral, they got no decency. They are doing it simply because of politics. So that's my point, But anyway,
and
I think I don't know if you want to be here for a little more time, but other than that, the time that I said I wanted to be here, I got only 5 minutes to go.
Wait now, at least, even if you decide to go, I might take 1 or 2 calls. There are some people that want to contribute.
Yeah. So maybe
I might take 1 or 2 calls here.
Because
but just before,
you know I have to go.
yes, just before you leave,
Because
let me
you're
make
not
it-
gonna give me money for being here. I gotta go.
I know where you are. I know what's up. But just before you leave, Mr.
I
Kanye,
gotta go to work.
let me make this point just before you leave. Let me make this point to all of us. It is time for us to wake up and rally around what is true and what is good, regardless of who you support. Once you stick with the truth, you're okay. It doesn't mean that your support from that person goes away. It does not mean so. You can support a person and disagree with them. There's so many times me and Sekou have disagree openly and behind closed doors. Some of our conversations behind closed doors are even heated. Some of our disagreements. Yes, and some of you have been on the show, we disagree. Even today, we disagree. He said he doesn't agree with the way Cummins then rushed to fire I-Vah, but I say I agree with it, and I stayed in my position. My Liberian people, the first way for us to move forward.
You wanna start calling Motege?
Yeah, let's take it, Mr. Kana. Let's take one or two, please.
When
I
I-
even got a call here.
Oh, okay. Before you make your call though.
No, take a call. Take a call for it.
Yeah, no, but I want you to sit on it. Let the caller then wait a little bit. I want you to
Okay.
ask this. I want you to answer this question.
Okay.
I-Vah Tokpa was fired by Cummins or by the ANC based on morality.
I agree.
And Mo Ali had sexual affairs with a teenager, supposedly a teenager, and was caught on audio admitting the act. And the same people that Costa, who is in the vanguard of trying to denigrate I-Vah Tokpa now, was there not only defending Mo Ali, but was also there to insult the girl, calling her Hopojo. In other words, a prostitute, for speaking out. So if all of them, all the people that can stand up right now and say more and say I-Vah Tokpa, what you did was wrong, was this, was that, we all agree that it was wrong. But can the Unity Party also redirect their moral compass to do the right thing, to take action against Mo Ali also? Can they do that?
Well, Mr. Kane, first of all, let's establish that this girl, we're told that she was 20 years old, so she was not on her age, but that's aside the point.
We were told on it. Just what I'm saying, supposedly.
Right.
When I say supposedly, it means that's what I heard.
Exactly. So
yeah.
So want to clarify that this girl was age, but that's aside the point. Costa and other people who are pushing this narrative, first before I get to the Unity Party part of it, the other people who are pushing, they were right on the same show when Costa came here, and he tried to disrespect Telco, but Telco being a woman who does not shy, who does not wait for anybody to speak for her, she shut him down and he had to run away. He's not used to these kind of women standing up to him. He's not used to that kind of environment. So I will urge those Costacicians who are his women or his friends or his supporters to first of all start standing up to him. He's not used to that. And if you stand up to him, he will coward and he will run away. And he will behave. From that day, he will respect you. But let's come to the Unity Party side of this conversation, Mr. Kane. The Unity Party has no moral compass. No whatsoever. Joseph Yuma Boaga sat there for 12 years. Girls were raped. Things were happening in the country. Other people were doing all kind of funny things as vice president. You ever heard him say anything about it as vice president? Did he say anything about it? No, he said nothing about it. Nothing about it. The United Party has no moral compass. I've said it over and over. Everything you see the CDC-led government doing, they got it from the United Party. This is a learned behavior from the United Party. I don't want to say it. I take full responsibility on what I say here. That's why when what he mean, When Mo Ali did that disgraceful thing, they didn't even suspend him. Nothing as that. He was recorded. It was recorded. His voice that he admitted to it. They never suspended. In any normal society, first thing first, they would have either suspended him or let him go or relieve him from a position. They never did anything like that. I don't put anyone to talk about Mora. Today they jump out, they're supporting this. Tomorrow
Okay. So what about what about the same people now talking about I-Vah Topa? What moral ground are they standing on?
These are a bunch of shameless people that
That's why I told you it's all politics. The same people that are supporting Mo Ali are now criticizing Vatoka.
But I want to say
the point. So let me take this call here.
Yeah.
Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Let me get a caller back.
Good afternoon. This is Fred. I'm calling from the Carolinas. Thank you, Fred, for bringing this topic under the spotlight here today. But this is a really deep, embarrassing situation for the president of Liberia. And he probably didn't know he was going to be elevated to this kind of stature. But this is why we as men or even women, there are certain things about your relationship. I don't care how much personal friendship you have with people, you don't discuss them.
Yep.
It's just a no. You don't discuss them. Especially things that have to do that, things that have in the bedroom. There is no way you should discuss that with any friend. It is moral and bankrupt, for we have to have put his wife on salad. I mean, it's a big disgrace for our country. I mean, this is something you're talking about the president of Liberia and a wife, their intimate affairs in the bedroom being revealed to a friend who went also and bankrupted himself into writing a book. If you write something on Facebook, like a commentary, I mean, you can delete that. When you go and publish a book, you try to sell that kind of story, it's deeply embarrassing. And, I want to, you guys should not even keep talking about this because it's really embarrassing.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, it's very embarrassing. I don't think you guys should even be talking about it. You just said the whole thing that
my brother. Let me tell you this. The point is that a lot of people were looking at it from the point of the writer. Granted, the writer might have done the wrong thing for discussing such an immoral thing in the book, but what about the source? So I just believe it was incumbent upon us to come and shine light on those things so that people can know it's not just the author, but what about the president himself?
Well, that's what he said. It's deeply embarrassing. Very embarrassing for our country.
All right, thank you, sir.
Not even describing his wife, but the way he talked about Liberian women, I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah.
And like Steve said, I don't think this is a lie. This is something he said. It's not a lie.
I believe too.
People are coming out and God damn it. Come on straight and speak. I don't care how embarrassing it is. As a leader of the nation, this kind of thing come up and speak to the nation. This is not only about his wife, but it's about our mothers, our sisters in Liberia. It's very personal. It's deeply touching and disturbing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Steve, you got another caller?
Yes. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Well, this is Cyrus, as usual, calling from my own Grand Bunker in Minneapolis.
Cyrus, what's your take on this conversation?
Well, Sepu just made a beautiful point, a beautiful expose, except I disagree with him on one other point. You see, like you said, this is not about moral, this is about politics. And if you've been observing Mr. Cummings, I think it was one of the best decisions you have ever made in entering politics. Mm-hmm. Just imagine, even distancing himself from I-Vah to see how the guys handle the case.
Right.
This thing was political, it's not about moral. The reason I said Cummings made a better decision, we're coming from a traditional society. In Africa, our society, we are very conservative. When it comes to women issue and immorality, we don't support these things, right? Mm-hmm. And Cummings never got rid of I-Vah, whether I-Vah was right or wrong. It's just not acceptable in our society. There are things that are inappropriate. It doesn't make it illegal. This guy wrote a biography. It's about the life of Joshua. I think the book promoted Joshua more than it denigrated him. And this whole idea, we all know we live in America, we have interacted with George, we are from the soccer field to parties in basement. This is his behavior. It's his lifestyle. He discussed women inappropriately. It's not something new. He fought one of our friends on the soccer field for a woman. I mean, when the whole issue of boyfriend and girlfriend, slept with this guy Gary and put it in his face on the soccer field. People can attest to him in Minnesota. More than 20 to 25 people watch it live. So I-Vah didn't lie. Everything I-Vah said is the truth. What caught my attention was the reaction. Most especially for you could tell it was on politics. Why you think the Nyombi Kanga and the Delon in no time was able to change the profile picture to Georgia's wife picture? You will ask yourself why.
Well, so the Dillon and Nyombi did that?
Oh yes.
Yes,
They don't
Mr.
change the
Kane.
profile picture to Georgia's wife picture.
That's a complete hypocrisy on their part.
I told you it's about politics.
Wow.
So, if I wasn't attached to Coleman, this case would have been a nothing burger. And that's why I said Coleman made a very smart decision. It was about tying Coleman to I-Vah. And don't forget, the same folks that made this imaginary discovery about the CPP framework being finger and author were the same people that brought this book into spotlight. Why do you think this book been written months in advance and we never heard about this book
Right.
until Costa came on air to bring this particular excerpt? And like I keep telling you, Liberians are not readers. And the few that can read cannot read with comprehension. If you read that particular excerpt, Georgia was praising his wife at the expense of Liberia.
Exactly.
Justifying why he married a Jamaican woman
Exactly.
instead of a Liberian.
Most
So,
definitely.
how can you come with a moral outrage in solidarity to Georgia when in fact he was praising his wife and
Over you.
justifying why he married her as compared to a Liberian female?
Exactly.
That's why I tell you that the whole thing is about politics. But our people, they believe in the sensationalism, the sectarian politics. Oh, when I for Joseph Boga, I should support the wrong because Cummings is the one that is the target. It's the same thing we keep doing over and over. That's why I keep telling you guys, the possibility of us getting a better leader is slim to none because everybody wants to protect their own. Nobody see country, nobody see the bigger picture. I mean, women that have been raped, we have seen these guys denigrating women, whether it was a more allegation.
So
that thing is own past president. So when I see people talking about, oh, about women, I'm like, you crazy. It's who told you this thing about women's solidarity? It's about politics. It's about trying to connect Cummings to I-Vah. That's what it's all about.
That's it.
If I-Vah had been an ordinary president, no, this case would have been nothing. No, but I-Vah works for Cummings, and their target is Cummings. The CPP framework is Cummings. This whole book issue is Cummings. Can you imagine if Cummings is going to distance himself in a short period of time? What gets not possible? Distance himself from I-Vah, and I-Vah was trying to speak out of the country. It just tells you about the state of our country, the security sectors.
Yep.
And this whole government about dictatorial tendencies, that's why it's all about. It's not about I-Vah, it's about Cummings. So you can play all the rhetorical, you can take it from here to there, the political jiu-jitsu, how you want to call it. At the end of the day, this was a target meant for Cummings. The only difference is he handled it in a much better way, in the quickest time possible, but that's what it's all about.
we got other callers here.
Solidarity with George, we are white instead of being around the Liberian women that was insulted, that was denigrated, and you got our so-called opposition folks, the Delon, the Nyombi, and the people that support the other side, and everybody bashing.
Yes, Mr. Kane.
Solidarity with Cloud, I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in recent times.
Cyrus, thank you. Thank you for your
Wow.
analysis.
My man, to tell Sarah, thank you. We got a lot of callers here from even from overseas. So call us when you call, when I answer your phone immediately, you're in the queue. Just stay there. Let answer other calls. Okay?
Yeah, I have one more caller.
Like get these callers. We have a lot of callers here. Some are international. So I want to make sure we take care of those people first.
Okay, let's get in. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Caller 44 number 2 is from UK. What is your name?
No, my name is Albert Taylor. Sekou.
Oh, Albert Taylor. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Now, first of all, I want to say, Isaac was not a target. Nobody was targeted in Irish from a security perspective. And let me just be very clear here. You know, we should be very proud of the Liberian government for being professional in this situation, because from the immediate stage, they made it very clear that Isaac was of no threat and he was not on arrest. Now, there is something that someone will look at and say, look, why is he trying to escape the country? And look at it from another perspective. You will say, Liberian government was protecting its citizen. It is the right of the executive branch of government to part of the executive government branch to protect lives and property. ISIL was in a high-risk area, traveling out of the country. He was apprehended because the border was closed and put into a safe location. For his own safety, come on now. People should be thankful of the government for.
No. You got that wrong. You got that wrong. You got that wrong and flat out wrong. Let me tell you this: if this was for Azi's safety, if Aziz was caught in a risky area, and the purpose was to save him, it was to keep him a safe place in the morning and release him to go wherever you want to go, but not to arrest him, not to take him back to Liberia, not to take him back to Monrovia.
Sekou, first of all, he had no proper identification.
Come on, man. When they say all of them had the main picture in their cell phones, they know exactly who he was. They knew exactly who he was. That's the reason why he was arrested and taken back to Monrovia. That's plain and simple. We should not play politics with people here.
If you give me the time without
Yeah, I will give you the time, but we are saying something that is far away from the truth. We have to interject.
You might have a different opinion on the issue. I'm speaking for
but you're speaking as if you're speaking for the government, and we should not with the truth.
Well, that's your opinion, Sekou. That's your opinion.
Okay, I want you to speak for yourself. Don't speak for the government.
Sekou, I'm speaking for myself in front of.
No, you spoke exactly what the government wrote, and we read about it. So say something else. That's what you think, but not what the government is saying.
Sekou, you can't tell me what to say. Listen to me. Let me learn.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Now, ISIL was in a high-risk area, knowing that the border closes at 6 o'clock and open at 8 o'clock or 6 to 6 or whatever, makes it clear that area was a high-risk zone. And going to the border without proper identification or without proper documents to travel over the border into another country, it's a government concern. Government acted in his best interest to put him in a safe location until the next day.
What happened? The voice keep going down.
For many different reasons, people can understand that government acted in his best interest. While he could be hallucinating, thinking that because of his actions, writing a book, government want to arrest him, and this is why he decided to flee the country through the border instead through the airport. Many different reasons. He could be checked in to hospital and look at his mental status. Why are you running from the country? Well, look,
Mr. Kanakin,
even though we understand there's some issue we disagree with the government, but we should understand on this occasion that government acted in his best interest.
All right. No problem.
Let me tell you something. If I was the chief of police,
now I want you to conclude. I have a lot of caller here. We have to go.
We got to go caller. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
To conclude, first thing, if I was the chief of police, I will investigate how he entered the country, and I will check him into a mental home, either in one of those hospitals. Check him properly. No,
Okay.
honestly.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh. So hold on 1 second. Caller 678. What is your name and where you
follow his out. We follow his out. Swear.
What is your name and where you calling from?
Is that me?
Yes.
My name is George. How you doing?
Amos George. How you doing? Yeah, quickly.
Look, Sekou, this is the country Liberia we have. Some people say they want to speak up.
Sekou, that caller too low.
But there's a
Huh?
Liberia. I said some people want to speak about people, other people's mental ability, but they themselves have an issue mentally because that's the point when someone is delusional will speak like that. I-Vah Topa is a citizen like that. He has a right to trial anytime. If any officer by any means, saw him somewhere and I was in danger, all they need to do is to keep him there. That if it is in the next day, break it down, say, hey, find your way. But you cannot take the man from the border on an arm escort to Morovia. You posted his picture to the borders. What prompted you to post his picture at the borders? We are not stupid. Here's the issue. I-Vah Topa wrote something which we all frown on. It was not right. His boss took a decision to fire him. But my problem, the people who are pushing this message today, they are not the rightful messengers. Hera Costa, I'll call their name. Hera Costa insulted the little girl that Mo Ali targeted. He said the girl was a prostitute. The girl was dead. Where are you women? Did anybody come up to that girl rescue? No. Sheikh Sherry of Freedom Essence insulted the vice president on his show live. Did anybody come to her rescue? No. So what is this thing that they talk about? Mobile model said the president led up with women and gave them joy and clean some of the women. Did any of these people come up to complain? No. They didn't do it. Because it was not how they were not glad we are. This is the thing I'm saying. These women who are in the street today, shame on them. Because they are double standard people. They only care about certain names and they don't regard other people. I have just that's a women's name that have been denigrated by Sina Costa, Fazawie, all these people. Why did they not boycott Sina Costa show or Fazawie show? What the uproar from these women? Is that because it's I-Vah Topa connected but it's not becoming? Is that why they're coming up today to show this? This is the inconsistency, the disconnect between Liberians. This will, I will say shame on them and I will come after them. I'm not going to insult them, but I'm going to challenge them. What is the moral compass they have today to talk about any women being abused in Liberia? Where is it? This is ridiculous in the past. They should not talk about anything about this thing. Let it leave it with us.
Thank you.
We will talk it.
Thank you.
But not them.
Thank you, sir. All right. Yes, Steve.
Yes, I got two callers and then we can call it a day, right?
Yeah. Take those calls. In fact, I got to take a 2-minute break before your callers finish.
Okay, go ahead. Yes. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please? Hello?
Yes. Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking my call. So let me just start off by, thanking you guys for the discussion today. You guys went into detail to explain exactly, and this actually will help people understand what we are facing. And I just, first of all, want to say a big thank you to everyone who was up all night, through the night, last night, making phone calls, trying to call State Department or whoever we can contact to help get I-Vah to safety. I just want to say this to the women. We should not try to cherry pick what we stand up for or stand up against. I come to realize that if it is not a big name, no one, see the outrage. Maybe we do not come together as women to actually push the issue. Just recently, we had a 13-year-old girl that actually got raped so badly to her death. This type of outrage that we're seeing against I-Vah, we should take this energy and place it there as well. I'm not here to defend what I-Vah wrote in his book. I'm all about speaking up for what is right at all times. It's not when it is suit the big names, then we all see everybody coming out. Hopefully this will be a lesson learned for all of us that when these things happen, we should not just rush to judgment. I would like to see us take a step back and do some investigation. Let's do some research. Let's find out what actually someone is posting, because anybody can post something out there. If you're ready, go ahead and take your time and read and understand why the episode he posted on the book. It's actually just, we are talking now to Liberian women, and that's something we all know that, the president does. It's nothing strange.
Thank you.
But again, I just want to thank everyone for standing up for I-Vah. I'm glad that he safe and well, and kudos to all the guys who stay up from nighttime to the morning, working the phones, and hopefully he can get back over here safely. Thank you all.
Thank you, Roslyn. Next caller, the last caller here. Yeah, caller, really quick. You have 1 minute.
You're talking about Steve?
Yes, you listen to the monitor. Quick, you have 1 minute. We'll come and go. You got 1 minute. You got 1 minute. We'll come and go.
All right. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. Not most of us take this time to tell the Liberian people, let the president go and extend an apology to his wife.
Yep.
I-Vah did nothing wrong. You understand it? I-Vah never did anything wrong. I-Vah wrote his book. He got the information. He wrote it. Look, we the Liberian men are always in the hobbit, where we sit, where we stand. No, as Sekou said, you and Sekou said, no good human being, men will stand up there to even discuss whatsoever you do inside in the bedroom with any other woman, whether it could be your wife, whether it could be your girlfriend, whether it could be your star chick, whether it could be anything. Let the president go and extend an apology to his wife. If he does, he the one brought all of these things on his wife. Let him go and apologize to the woman. You understand it? That's a fact. That's what people said. And that's why you said that people said, if the house cannot sell you, the street will never ever buy you. This is our saying in our tradition. If you have anything inside you don't bring it outside, nobody will know about it. Nobody should blame I-Vah. Let the president go. You don't look at the president's face and tell him, go apologize to your wife. That's it. Period. Nothing else is there. You brought the woman up. Who knew? Who were there? Come on, man. Liberian people, you're led to make something out of politics. Alexander Cummings did, Alexander Cummings that, the other person did this, other person did that. I don't like him, man. Let the president go and go back his wife. Let him bow down before that woman. With all that as a man in Liberia. Thank you very much for having me, Steve.
Thank you so much.
Right.
Yes.
So Steve, you have one international caller here. I don't know where the person is.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Let's get this person. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Cecilia Kurma, and I'm calling from Netherlands.
Cecilia Kroma, you're looking like you're calling for Paris. Well, anyway, we'll take it. We'll take it from Netherlands. How you doing?
Yeah, fine, thank you. This is very interesting. I just listened to the caller that just left, and I agree with him. And not only to his wife, to us as Liberians. He insulted us as Liberian women. That's what I think. Because if he's saying that the reason why he took his Jamaican wife because she's special, which of course is beautiful to talk about your wife, is a compliment to her. But then what about the Liberian women that he got children by? Is he saying that we're not better? We are not, we do not have that quality, but then he still have us as girlfriends around here. I hope it's a lesson to some of our sisters that this man doesn't value us as women, and he have proven it, he have said it, and I hope we learn from it. And at the end of the day, I don't see nothing wrong with what I-Vah wrote. He is only complimenting what the man said about his wife, that I married this woman because of this beautiful fantasy that she has that the other women don't have. But even though I'm still running behind there, are side chicks. So he insulted us. He should also apologize to us. Thank you. That's my view to that.
Thank you very much.
I really wish more women could have called, but we are out of time. But
yeah, but you know, a lot of people calling. Steve, you know what? It was important that we had a show, even though it pushed me behind a little bit. You know, put me behind on my schedule. But it's very important. The president is to be blamed. Let it take all the politics in it, and be honest to themselves, and speak truth to power. The president is the problem. I-Vah Tokpa, whoever want to play politics, you can play politics with it. I-Vah Tokpa was quoting the president. Every nonsense that was said in that book, it was said by the president himself, and people already only relay message. I would not have done it. Maybe you will not do it, but the people will speak based on what you told them about your wife. Nobody knows about you and your wife. Nobody knows about me and my wife. But if I open my mouth and tell you something, you will know and you will talk about it. So next time, let's be very careful. Some people still want to call. Steve, you still want to stay here? You can But me,
no, I can't get my number to no.
Okay. So folks, let's leave it there for this. Steve, we have an announcement. Okay, I gotta go now.
Yes, tomorrow.
Okay, go ahead and carry on the announcement, and then you can stop the show when you're done.
Okay, I'll speak to you later after you come from there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. So really quick tomorrow. As for the announcement, if you look on SKTV's page, you will see that tomorrow we have Dr. Nyan here with us. We will be talking politics. We will be talking health, and we'll be talking a lot of different things. We'll incorporate some of these conversations there, So please, we want you to be here tomorrow, the same time, the same place. We'll be talking a lot of different things. Very sorry. Somebody said I should call them Margaret Kuhn. I don't. Anyways, we'll see about that. But here is what I want to say on the security aspect. No, the government was not protecting I-Vah Tokpa. It don't make any sense. That is not truth. They arrested him. The public outcry, because this government is a knee-jerk government. They're not responsible. They're a bunch of incompetent people. Yes, you might have few competent people there, but for the most part, they make reactive decisions. They're not proactive. Bunch of liars and crooks. They were going after I-Vah Tokpa. They were not arresting him and keeping him for his own safety or whatever it is. If I watched the video this morning, I listened to the commentary. These guys just lie with both face. They were never ever bringing what he named I-Vah Tokpa. They were arresting him. If the United States government, other people had not intervened, then a different story we're talking. Because they don't get it. They don't get it. You have public sentiment on your side. Why try to screw it up? Why even go after this man? Because funny people then came and make statements, so you're reacting to it. You're care with the program. You're supposed to be leading. You're not supposed to be reactive. You're not supposed to be reactive. You take all your cues from people there who support you. Even if they don't understand the issue, they're not professional. Do you know what kind of message it sends? Do you know what will be the headline tomorrow for this story internationally? Do you know what will be the headline? I don't know who advising you guys. Do you know the headline that will be tomorrow? That you're chasing somebody because they wrote a book? That means you're suppressing freedom of speech? I don't understand. No wonder why you can qualify for Teen and the Millennium Challenges. Because you're passing around chasing things you're not even supposed to chase. You get public sentiment on your side. People are even criticizing other people for supporting the president and the first lady in a situation. The president should have been condemned. Then you turn the whole thing around to bring North to go chase I-Vah Tokpa. Leave this man alone. If you decide you say you want to sue him, it's your constitutional right in America or in Africa. You can sue him. What make this big old noise and show? Why? Then you hear somebody talking about, oh, if you were the police director, you arrest a man, get a man for, look at that kind of myopic way of talking. No sense. You don't even make sense in public. Then you talk about your security. They told you to be passing around saying your security, and you don't make sense. You don't think about your action and the repercussion. You think about your security. You need to grow up. You are leading a country. Any funny thing you do, any misstep you take, it reflects badly. We'll say it and you'll say we hate the government. Every day you're looking for noise in the country. You can't be leading and be the person that creating the noise. At least let them fight the opposition and say the opposition creating noise. The opposition, hey. But you're creating your own noise. You know how much public sentiment on your side? You're not turning the whole thing over again in less than 24 hours. Because you're jealous toddlers that can control themselves. You can control yourselves. You can't help it. You must do what is wrong. Because you cannot help it. You cannot help it. That give her son. That Costa is supposed to be getting your cue. That they're supposed to be telling you what to do. Oh, you're arresting me. Oh, you're arresting me. Oh, you're arresting me. You think because you get power, you can just use it loosely? You know what you have done? To even call the American embassy to bring attention to this thing, it's a disgrace. That every day they will be reporting y'all. Every day they will be reporting y'all. I don't know if President George Weah is aware of this one or not. But whoever made that call for this man to be detained, because this man was detained against his will. He was detained, whether you like it or not. I watched the video this morning. The man wants to leave, you got to escort him. That small boy, 18 years and older. Okay, the man said, okay, I'll go Monrovia. You said somebody must sign for him, but he's not detained. How can somebody sign for an 18-year-old man? Oh no, the man got to go to our headquarters. Okay, he went to the immigration. You get police escorting to the, just creating a bunch of unnecessary attraction negatively to yourself. And you say, we hate the government. We hate the government. Bunch of knee-jerk reaction. No professionals. Nobody can sit on the table and say, if we take this step, here are the repercussions. Here are the possible things that will happen. So guess what happened? Let's not go this route. Let's go this route. Let's think about it. You arrested this man. You're detained this man. Whether you like it or not, it's the fact. You cannot change the fact. Shamelessly, you went to immigration office. We just wanted to take him over to his family, and we wanted to, are you okay in there? The time you were coming there, you asked for security. Are you okay in there? When we talk it, you also will hate the government. When you will grow up, you are not opposition. No, you are not opposition. You are government. You are leading. You are in charge. You call the shots. That everybody you go after. That everybody you will go after. For a book that this man never made up. The president told him he wrote for a book. Oh, come on, man. Yes, I'm saying it here. Keith Hassan is a friend of mine, but Keith Hassan sat down on Spoon Talk yesterday. And they exacerbated the foolishness for Nathaniel McGill and other people to carry on this knee-jerk reaction that they might arrest a man. Arrest a man for what? A crime? Yes, morally is wrong, but not a crime. Nobody committed any crime here. Nobody committed any crime here. Maybe if you tell the president to grow up and be our president, then maybe we probably wouldn't be having this kind of conversation. We probably wouldn't be having a conversation. So you need to get on the program, my people. Look, it's hard to work with the government. It's hard. It is hard. To be very honest, it is hard. When you think they're going to make rational decisions, they will screw it up. Somebody look at me and say, oh, your arrest warrant in Liberia and whatever it is. Who cares about your arrest warrant there? Nobody cares about it. If they're chasing, we wrote a guy, we're waiting to hear from him. There's a guy who went to Liberia and he was beaten. We're digging deep in that story. Hopefully he can get back with us so that we can bring him on this platform to have this conversation. You cannot make the country unbearable for Liberian citizens. That's wrong. That is absolutely wrong. That is absolutely wrong. You make all these threats to people. When you go to Liberia, your arrest warrant. You go to Liberia, Kanyana, you will see what will happen. Kanyana, who told you this is how people behave? Who told you this is how people behave? We're in democracy. We're in the 21st century. People have the right to speak. They have the right to speak their mind. You don't like it, you sue the person, you go to court. And then the person defend himself there, you make your case, and whatever the law say, exactly if the law is not skewed. So what happened to the freedom of speech? What happened to that? When you come and be ready, oh, you'll do the one, you'll do that one. The thing what they discussed, I was hearing yesterday, people talking about, oh, Chowia and Alexander Cummings might call the first lady. Okay, I agree. Let's take it that way. Alexander Cummings might call the first lady. Alexander Cummings should call the first lady. But then should we ask Alexander Cummings also to call all the Liberian women and apologize to them too? Should we ask Alexander Cummings to do that as well? Because there are two different people were in the situation though, and not one person. Should we ask Alexander Cummings to do the same thing? Now, if that is the case, then that's a fair thing. That's a fair thing. So y'all leave this man alone. If y'all won't go after him legally, that's fine. I think it will expose a lot of things. It will bring a lot of things to bed. It will bring a lot of things to bed. So you call Joy Weah somewhere, all of y'all start popping up there to say the bone y'all to be defending people. Joy Weah, I don't want to say it. Nothing against George Weah. But I don't want to say it. He is irresponsible that he grew up as a president. I don't care about all of your little shenanigans there. That means if Joseph Human boy guy, I can call him smooth crook. At Joe Weah, I can say he's irresponsible. No, we are joking. There ain't seen nothing here. You're really, really joking. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I don't need anything from anybody you do wrong. I will put an adjective on your behavior if you do wrong. I will not insult you, but I will put an adjective on your behavior. I think what you should be worried about your seditions, when adjectives are used to describe that person's behavior, guess what happened? Go and look up that word. If it doesn't suit the behavior they're exhibiting. The English are speaking here. The day I won't speak Dale, I will speak Dale. I'm clear. I don't take back what I say. I mean what I say here. The president is irresponsible. He needs to govern the country. He is not responsible. He's a president now. He's now a soccer star. He is a president. Anybody want to threaten me? Go ahead and threaten me. I don't have a problem with that. There's no problem with that. Trust me, there are a lot of things we're not seeing, we're not yet. I don't have a problem with your threats. That is absolutely fine. You have the right to make threats. But these threats are kept on records. If I go Liberia, or if any of my family or anybody that's connected to me is harmed, you'll be held liable. Your government will be held liable. I don't play like that. I'm not into that your foolishness. I'm not into that your foolishness. I will speak my mind. I will speak the truth. I will speak my mind and I will speak the truth. In the 21st century, anybody that goes after me or any of my family member, well, we'll be singing a different song. Just so you know, I'm not going to go here and tell you what will be the repercussion, but we'll sing a different song. You can't come and threaten me. You can't threaten my family members. I'm not one of your Liberian people that can let things go. Oh, let just leave it go. Let just leave it go. Why people in pain or people crying? But it doesn't work with me like that. It doesn't work with me like that. The same way how I got family members, you got family members too. And in other places, in other part of the world. So the thing that's important. The thing that's important. You expect to come after me or go after my family member and then we'll go in the church and go pray? You don't expect that. No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to slide. It is not going to slide. I want you to know that. I want you to know that. And if you come after me, there are people also that are waiting to go after you and your family. Whether you president or you not president again, it's going to be what it is. I'm very serious about it. Nobody make foolish threats to me. I don't take threat lightly. I don't take threat lightly. It is my right to speak my mind. And Liberia is my country. I'm from Liberia. I was born in Liberia. My parents are Liberians. I have equal right to Liberia as the president. If the president behaves childish, I will say he behaved childish. If he misbehaves, I will say he misbehaved. I'm not going to use any one of your phony and foolish words to pass around and make it look like, that the president, you can't say the word about it. The president and I'm gone. The president and I'm gone. The president and I'm gone. I'm not going to block any. I will leave them right here. The comments will be here. It will be safe and reserved. Whatever name. One thing I know about Facebook, you can trace the names. You can trace all those records. Whether you come with fake name, account, whatever, your IP address can be traced. So that easy thing. I keep leaving trails around. It is what it is. Whether in Africa, whether in a remote part of the world, that thing can be traced to your address. So you will stay there, you keep yourself on record, it is what it is. But I'm saying I'm not going to shy away or be afraid. Whether you're opposition or you're president, you do wrong, I will say you do wrong. I don't have no time to sugarcoat. I don't have no time to fool around. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. Look, if you like it, whether you are my friend on Facebook or you're my friend in real life, you don't want to be my friend again, bon voyage, keep it moving. It is what it is. It is what it is between me and you. I don't have no time for that, but I'm not here. There are people who I have very good relationship with. I've come here in public. I've criticized them. One of them is Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence. I've criticized her for what's going on in the Liberty Party as a leader. And now one day, anybody from the Liberty Party or family member ever came after me to threaten me. Who is George Weah? That's in doing one somebody again talking. Who is he? He not human being? He not Liberian? President Atato. That human being made him to be president. So for they see human being to criticize him, and you're taking personal, you want to threaten people's life? We inside. May I say my own? And I keep it like that. Keith Hassan and the other people, I'm saying it to the Liberian people. Keith Hassan and the other guys who exacerbated the situations. They're dangerous people. They should not be passing around in our community talking foolishness. I'm calling his name. You put that man's life at risk, you Costa. You put that man's life at risk. That man has his children. With this ruthless and reckless government, that when something happens, every day they investigate, they'll be investigating from January to December. You still got people crying up until today for their children. You don't put people's life in harm. I don't joke with anybody that I was telling somebody last night. I don't joke with anybody that play with human being business. I don't joke with it. You want to do your other thing, I don't get a problem with that. But once it comes to someone's life, and you put it in harm's way, I draw a line between me and you. I draw the line. Because if you can do it to that person, you can do it to me. I'm not here for that your little trying to gain favor with certain people, so you do the one. I'm not here for that nonsense. I'm not here. Who tell you Keith Hassan not watching? He watching. Who told you not watching? He watching. He watching. And me, I'm not afraid to call names. The only names I will not call are sources. I'm not afraid to call names. You do wrong, call your name. They're the one that exacerbated the situation. They're the one that said on spoon talk that the government should go after the person and do the one, do that one. They're the one that exacerbated the situation. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. This government should be responsible. Just stop putting yourself in problems. Just stop. Not everything can be political. That's not everything. Women's right, human right violation, that's not political issue. A human being business you're dealing with. Human being, not machine. Life not in the store, you say, oh, they want when they other life in it, we'll go buy a new one. You know, yeah, when the other life is done with, we'll kind of replace this one. No. Some of these people you're going after, you're harming. These are the breadwinners for the family. So they're gifty Lama and other people no longer around. How are their children eating? How are they living? And you just cut someone on a life short. And you also must sit down on it. And you also must ignore and act like we don't know what's going on. It is wrong. It is absolutely wrong. This is not a political thing. This is not politics. I don't play politics with that. Going after people's life, there is no political thing that inside for me. No. This guy is the breadwinner for his family. I disagree with him. I'm one of the fiercest critics of I-Vah Tokba. I'm one of the fiercest critics of Costa. But when you guys chased Costa a year or so ago in Liberia, guess what? Someone over here would say it was wrong. The government did the wrong thing. Do the right thing. Even my worst enemy, I don't wish nobody killing anybody or harming anybody. I don't wish that on nobody. That's not the right thing to do. So you take away somebody's life now. They're the only breadwinner for the family. How do you expect their own children to survive? How is Gifty? You're not asked this question before. How is Gifty Lama and other professionals whose life were taken away? How are their children eating? How are they living? What will be the future of their children? That mind and power will not be around to provide school fees for them. You guys have thought about it before? Passing around the name of politics and you think that joking thing? I will speak, whether in Liberia or here or wherever it is. I want to be clear. I want to be clear on this one. Whether you go to medicine man, you can't physically, so long you attack my life, I keep you on record. That's why I don't have my face. That's why my two names, you know it. You know my Steve Bullet, and you know my Moses name on Facebook. I'm not going to hide my face. I'm not going to hide for nobody. I'm not going to hide for nobody. I've done nothing wrong. I've committed no crimes. I will not hide myself. I just want you to know. I will not call on no fake account or hide my face. Like some people talking, they want to make the case for the government, but we don't know whether the man or the woman or the get man voice, you're hiding behind close to, you don't want to see your face. Say your life is more important than you shouldn't even be in Liberian politics. You shut your mouth and go and sit down somewhere. I will not hide my face. I will stick with it and put my face to it. When it's wrong, it is wrong. And people in the opposition, when it's wrong, it's wrong. There's some things that you don't play politics with. So in all honesty, my people, we all need to speak out. My last statement on this thing, and I'll close the show. And my last statement will be to the president. When you leave for office, Mr. President, please don't go discuss our Liberian women there yet. Oh man, we beg you. Please. You and your boys, you're talking about football. You're talking about music. You know, talk about your experience as being a president. Or when you lecture with your boy. Listen, it don't make you a big boy when you talk about women that you've been with. You're not big boy. You understand? When you talk about women, you're not big boy. You're not big boy. Yeah. You're not big boy. You pass around, discuss women and boast. You are not a big boy. No, you are not. You're not big boy. Oh. To be very honest with you, you're not a big boy. Big boys don't do that. People don't do that. Talk more about your wife or your significant other. Even worse so, someone that shared blood for you as your children or your child's mom. And you're crossing lines. You're crossing lines. On some real, you're crossing lines. That is not cool. That is not acceptable. To the Liberian women, you guys are the most beautiful women on earth. I don't care who says what. Even in my disagreement with the Liberian women, I still believe that they're the most beautiful women on earth. That's why the Liberian women who still support President George Weah, I still maintain a strong and good relationship with them. I don't have a problem with them, even in our disagreements. I believe they're still beautiful. Nothing wrong with that. But you need to stand together for one cause. So we look forward to the next protest from the Liberian women when a Liberian girl is raped or harmed. And you will follow that Ministry of Justice and gender. You will follow that place. You will line up in black or whatever color you choose. You will get placards and make the case. Let the word see you. And you don't want no more rape. You don't want no more abuse. You don't want no more your children are missing or so forth. We're looking forward to that. And we support that cause. Whether that's CDC, whether that's opposition, it doesn't matter. We support that cause. Because that is the agenda we should be pushing. We're begging you here. And when you hear people cussing you out on Facebook, you will not support them in public or wherever it is. You will not support them. You will not put yourself there. You will not be sharing it. You will not be doing this. No. People who disrespect you will not honor them. You will not be afraid of them. I'll give you a typical example. When Costa came here and he wanted to disrespect Tiako, you saw how Tiako kept it in check. And he ran away. And he said he got more. And he said he loved more. He seen more and gave up. Let me tell you something. I believe in the power of women when they decide to do something. I believe in it. I believe women can be more effective than men if they're given the opportunity. The only problem I get with women is our Liberian women is they don't support one another. They don't push their agenda. Anything women want to do, they can do it. Anything women want to do, they can do it. Even as growing up, I got to know that anything women want, they can get it. Anything they want to do, they can do it. They are the most magnetic force on earth. If you don't know, sometimes we can't want to discuss it in public too before you get your heart down. Hey, yeah, but you're not easy. You're not easy. You guys are the only creature on earth that can make president get down on a knee. You guys are the only creature that can make any man to succumb. You guys are the only creature that can make men and destroy men. You guys are the only. Go check history. Even from a biblical or a religious standpoint, you know what the Bible says in Proverbs? The woman is the head of the neck. So is the neck, and the man is the head. So that means, in other words, if the neck refuses to turn a certain way, the head can turn. Who told you that your head can turn? That your neck can turn for your head turn. Go think about it. So see how much power you have, or you're giving up for no reason. All the BB talk show hosts, and all the B model we're making. Let me just be honest with you. That women are supporting this cause more than men. I'm telling you the truth. Like it or not. That women. Anything woman in, they can go faster than men. That's why when I work in an organization, I work anywhere, I like to promote women's agenda. I like it. Because they make a difference in any society. They make a difference in any society. I'm telling you the truth. If I want something right now, I want to reach to certain people I can reach to, a woman can reach to that person. A woman can reach to that person. That's why you will see in most places where they want to destabilize things or they want to find out information, guess who they use? That women. Somebody say a woman lapa. Well, but men so that woman. I've always told you here before. I don't know about the woman lapa part, but men supposed to like woman. It shouldn't be news. When men like woman, it shouldn't be news. And when woman like men, it shouldn't be news. As a matter of fact, that's a good thing. Now, when it's the opposite, then that's news. The day you hear the opposite, for me, then that's news. But that's not news there. Men liking woman and that news. It's all be a good thing, sir. It's all be a good thing. We should all be promoting women agenda. Yeah, I promote women agenda. I don't honor my women agenda, I promote it. I'm 100% for women's agenda. But the women, you got to push your agenda first, please. We're begging you. You can have disagreements. It hardens my heart to even turn on Facebook and see women cussing another woman. It hardens my heart. To be honest, sometimes I just sit, I'm like, okay, what's going on though? What really is up? Do you know what I mean? For a man to sit down 4, 5, 6 hours on a plane, in a car, just to go and see you as a woman. You know what that means? Men don't do that normally for a friend, man. No, we don't. But we do it for women or for a woman. We will. That you the one can keep men up in the net now. That lie? How many men can really stay up in the net to pray? But when a woman been it, we stay up. I'm not going up. Let me leave it if I get in trouble. If I get in trouble with my body, tell me you're sorry, yeah? Some men hit me up and they say, brother, you're going too deep now. Leave it before you made a woman and they can't position up. Yeah. Imagine, to some extent, our assignment depends on you. Can you imagine? That's no power you get. You just don't know how to use it. Use it in the wrong way, with the wrong people for the wrong reasons. Can you imagine you gave birth to us? Can you imagine that? All the beamer we get, we as men, that you gave birth to all them. Think about it now. You gave birth to us. So that means you had a choice to say if you wanted to abort us or you wanted to keep us. It was your decision. And then you say, now, yeah, you get in many position in your to come and make the case. Imagine Costa leave a woman sleeping. And you waking up 2, 3 in the morning on Facebook fighting for him. But a woman sleeping. A woman sleeping. He found you never see Costa's sister or a woman or other people coming on Facebook and defend him. Go think about it. Go think about it. But they use you as an attack dog. It's not like, hey, he's jealous. Hey, he's jealous. What time you see Joey wife come on Facebook to say, oh, you jealous and make the case for you? What time you see before? Brother, you're sorry. I will leave it now. Hey, the minute I'm leave, I'm call it, I will leave it, brother. I'm not going there again. I will leave it. So, but sometimes we gotta give these women some direct call so that they can understand and wake up, get rejuvenated. Look, you have power, you have authority. You just don't know. Once you start to use it the right way, it will be very, very good. Every day, we're using our women for the wrong reason. Somebody will call you, they're attacking me on Facebook. Y'all go defend me. And you as a woman, you're passing around defending them. Why a man, why a sister, why a girlfriend, why a significant other can't come there and can't defend you? That you they can call. Oh, so you not get relationship, you not get children that you go defend. I see you're passing around. Defending and making excuses. Women. I stand with him. What day you're standing? The men you're getting, you don't even stand with them. When other people cussing them, you don't stand with them. But you're staying with this crook and criminal there. You can you imagine? You work hard. Some of you, your bill not even correct to pay. I'm talking about the church tithe offering thing, but your bill not correct. You would refuse to keep your children phone on. And you know you let party Benin. You refuse to tell your children keep your children phone on for that $50, but you decide to send it to your euro. Your children who is all keep their phone on, so when you go to party, you'll be checking on if they save in the household. You don't do that. You tell your children phone off for that month. I just want to send a hero the $50. And let me say hero $50. You buy your phone be off for them more. I will say hero $50. You see how your priority is misplaced? You see your life? Ain't you see your life? You're supposed to buy your eyelashes. Oh. You say when I'm buying, you will send money to euro. Your wig, why you put on layaway? You go over here. You ought to put $300, $350 for that week. Guess what happened? You leave a week there. The week stay there. You put on layaway. But you gotta buy the hero gift. So you take the money you send it to the hero. And you were chilling with that money. You're chilling with it. Looking fresh, get a new money. The baby girl looking fresh to get nothing. Then you're struggling. You still carrying it, the hair, you still carrying it. The funny looking hair, you still carrying it. And we still see you, we appreciate you with the hell. But then you come here, you want to disrespect people. You're defending somebody who keeping you as a slave. The next time anybody call you to defend them, tell that person, let them call their sister, let them call their mom, let them call their nephew, let them call their wife to go defend them. Let them do it. If they start leading a charge, then maybe you can look into it. But they're not leading a charge. Why should you do that? Why? You wake up. You wake up, like women. You wake up. Other people are moving forward. Other women are moving forward. I'm being very serious. Other women are moving forward. Other women, they are moving forward. You wake up. You wake up, bro. You wake up. Passing around, you're defending all day. The other person, I'm a hero. I'm a this, I'm a that. When I'm in social Benin, we have the time to have the discussion. I'm really, really contemplating on having some of these discussions to give you the reawakening, the facts, the reality behind some of these things. Because some of these things, it's not that you get sweat behind you. It's just a psychological thing that people playing on your mind that you don't know. But once you start getting some of these hardcore truth, this reality to keep yourself in check, I think you were in line. I honestly think so. So that being said, we'll call it off today. We'll play, a love music to cool some of my sisters and others. So they like burn with me. We're being solidarity with one another. We'll keep the unity, and we're here to support you. Some of us. We're here to support you, not to support you in wrong or foolishness. But once you decide to do the right thing, even in disagreement with us, we still support you. Y'all know on SKTV, we'll keep it 100% with y'all. We still love the Liberian women. We believe that they're the most beautiful women on earth. And on behalf of SKTV, we want to extend our apology to the Liberian women for the disrespect from our president, I-Vah Topa, and everybody else who wrote that book. I want to say we're very sorry. You guys are not like that. So you will not be treated like that. And you will not be talked about like that, whether in private or in public. Let's enjoy this week. Tomorrow will be on. Follow us. Thank you, and thank you for always following. No copyright to this song. Enjoy, stay blessed, stay out of trouble, get vaccinated if you need to. Keep yourself safe. COVID is still around. Thank you so much.
First time I saw your face, I knew I was in love. Baby, your smile takes my breath away. And they can say what I want, girl, I don't mind. As long as you are by my side. Baby, you smile of paradise. Baby, girl, come be my lifeline. How many times do you want me to say I love you? Cause then I tell the world I do. Even you want me, girl, I do. Baby, girl, come be my lifeline. Inikuma. Yega ampa ilikuwa. Anyway, you will come on. How many times do you want me to say I love you? Cause when I tell the world I do. Even you want me, girl, I do. Baby, girl, come be my love for life. How many times do you want me to say I love you? Cause when I tell the world I do. Even you want me, girl, I do. Baby, girl, come be my love for life. I need no painkiller cause you took my pain away. You don't need umbrella, I will take the rain away. Inikuma. Yega ampa ilikuwa. Anyway, you will come out.